Hello, folks. Showing off another new acquisition that I've added to my collection, and with a very definite use in my mind for this. It is a little North American Arms revolver. And what is it? It is the North American Arms Magnum Pug 22 Magnum. You can see this is safe. I usually don't bother to show pistols are safe in a bunch of these videos, but um, this is safe. Here you go. Here's the conversion cylinder. But yeah, it's a 22 Magnum Pug from North American Arms, a little 5-shot revolver that is very small. It holds 5 rounds of 22 Magnum, and then I have a second cylinder here that is capable of firing 5 rounds of 22 long rifle. I guess more the idea being I can use this to save on ammo costs, and this would be as kind of the as it were the self-defense cartridge I'd use, which would be some 22 Magnum. I did just get this a few hours ago. I did come home, do a quick cleaning. It didn't really need much. I just ran a bore snake down the little barrel a few times to just make sure there's no debris in there. But yeah, this is the version. It comes with a little hoe grip that, because this thing is so small, it's actually, really helps you get a hold of this thing. Um, but however, I mean, irregardless with this, I mean, I wouldn't know what it's like with wood grips, but even with the 22 Magnum that I was firing through it, there's very little recoil. It's a pug, but it's a very tame puppy. And the other thing that this one comes with is it has a tritium night sight, a little front tritium night sight. It's basically the XS sights. Yeah, you can't really see this, but there's the little XS in the front here. It's tritium in the front with a big dot. I guess it's their big dot version with the little gentle V in the back. Um, I wouldn't really call this a big dot. If you compare this to, I have a video out there. I have the same sights on my Smith and Wesson Bodyguard, and that is a big dot. I would say this is a wee dot, because you can't even see the dot past the hammer with the hammer up. It kind of blocks the sight as I try to look in the camera. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is a neat little pistol. I think I shot about 20 rounds of 22 long rifle, 20 rounds of 22 Magnum. It's fun. It's very difficult to shoot. It's very difficult to be accurate with it. I was shooting at targets, I think they were 12 by 18 at about 25 feet. I think that's where our first line is, 8 yards. Yeah, so really, if I'm saying 8 yards, that's really 24 feet or whatever. So it's, 20 to 25 feet. I was able to keep the shots on, aiming at the middle of a 12 by 18 sheet of a 12 by 18 target. I was able to keep the shots on my last 20 shots. I kept them all on the paper, but not too many in the center rings. But hey, it's something to get used to, especially get used to these front sights. And it was getting dark as we were shooting outside. It was just before sundown. So, but yeah, this is a pretty neat little beast, or little puppy, I should say, if it's the pug. The idea with this is as a backup self-defense carry option, a deep concealment option. And really, it's kind of a weapon of last resort, a weapon of, hey, get off of me. This is not going to really stop a imminent threat of a deranged, crazed person under the influence of drugs. But if you start firing this at people, you're gonna a average run-of-the-mill criminal, or somebody's trying to attack you, you're gonna make them think twice. But yeah, these are pretty neat. I guess I'll just do, since I learned the functionality, I'll do a quick overview how this works. Right, so there's no popping the cylinder out. The swing out cylinder, you have to remove the cylinder to actually load it. So the front pin just comes right out. You need to really move the hammer a little bit to pop the cylinder out. and here's my 22 Magnum cylinder. They both look very similar if I compare them at this point, but you can probably almost notice a little bit the 22 long rifle cylinder is a little bit smaller, and you know, you probably, while you wouldn't want to, the 22 long rifle cylinder rounds will fit into this cylinder. Really, the kind of the driver is that you can see here on the front they have a little L, I assume is for the 24 to indicate that it's 22 long rifle. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show on the camera or not, but it is right up there. So yeah, and actually getting the cylinder back in, you have to move the hammer a little bit, get it in here. Once it's in, you just push this, push the pin in, pull, swing it around, and you've done your cylinder. Now, and the one other thing about this, as you can see, the cylinder's kind of locked here right on one of the chambers. You can carry this very safely with 5 rounds in the cylinder. If you could see here, the cylinder has these little notches that are actually between the actual chambers for the rounds. Yeah, this thing is so small, I don't even showing up here. Let's see. Yep, there's the notch right there. So really, what you do is you pull the hammer back a little ways, and again, this is where this little guy, you need to make sure it's in a safe direction, right? So you need to make sure, and it's very hard to show this, but you need to get the hammer in this location here so that the hammer is kind of between the two rounds, right? You can see it's here, but the cylinder will still move. So what you need to do is you would pull it back, and then you need to pull the trigger to let the hammer fully go forward on that empty space. And there, it's kind of locked in. Your cylinder's not going to move. You can carry it. You can be very comfortable in that you can stick this in a, you know, an applicable little pocket holster, something for very deep concealment, and it's not going to accidentally discharge by hitting the hammer and making one of the rounds go off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to quickly show this. Now I have a friend who has one of these. I kind of really didn't like it when I first shot it. We're shooting some kind of really random snake shot out of the revolver, and it seemed really kind of stupid. But you know, after I thought about it and wanting to really have a very, very small backup option, I felt it was worth spending the money on this little guy to add him to the collection and having him as a part of my self-defense options. So that's it. Oh, and the one other thing, it does come with an actual locking hard metal case. It's you know, it is what it is. These things, I guess, a similar one like this from Stack On or Gun Vault or whatever. I had something similar to this in my truck from Gun Vault, about the same size. They're about $20, but this is a very, very nice little value add to this system. That's about it.